pays to be positive. That's what positive psychology research tells us. If you're optimistic, hopeful, self confident, and resilient, then you'll be much happier and more successful in life. After all, every cloud has a silver lining, right? It's not always that easy. Some of us tend to focus a lot more on the cloud and a lot less on the silver lining. Some people are predisposed to look at things less positively. They are wired to be more anxious, worry more, and expect the worst case scenario. This positive psychology hack is meant for just such people. It can help you face your fears head on and deal with them effectively. Several months ago, I came across this technique called fear setting, popularized by author Tim Ferriss. It's inspired by the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. I realized that I had been following a variant of this myself for several decades to manage my anxiety. I call this technique Face Your Fears, the practical version. It is backed by psychology research, and this is how it works. First, list down your biggest fears and anxieties. And I mean only the biggest ones, those that keep you awake at night. There should be no more than 5 at the most. If you have more than 5, then please seek professional help ASAP. Second, we deal with these big fears and anxieties one by one. We write down the fear in detail, and I mean in detail. Let me explain with an example. This is an example from a student of mine. Let's say that you and your partner have a single child, and your biggest fear is that if something happens to both of you, then your dependent child will be left totally helpless. Both set of grandparents may either be too old or gone, and so cannot take care of their grandchild. And maybe neither of you have siblings. Or maybe your siblings, cousins, or friends are not willing to take on the responsibility of your child. So that's the scenario. That's one of your biggest worries. Once you write down all the details, you may start to realize that the probability of both of you dying or falling ill or disappearing at the same time is low. It's not impossible though. There may be times when you and your partner are away together and some accident could happen to both of you then. Or you could die of a disease or heart attack or something else. If it's a gradual process, it's easier to prepare. The anxiety is much more when it's a sudden event, when your child is at school or college or with friends maybe. It's important to write all this down and not just think through it or talk it out. Writing it down engages different parts of the brain and forces you to think about things more thoroughly, in detail. It puts things in perspective and helps you define the scope of your worst case scenario. Third, think of what you can do now to make things better if and when this worst case scenario comes true. Write down all the things you can do. Maybe identify a few siblings, cousins, or friends who are willing to take on the responsibility of your child. If something happens to both of you, discuss it with them. Make sure they are fully okay and comfortable with it. Also, talk to your child about it if your child is old enough. Tell them who they should reach out to and provide them with all the relevant contacts and information in case of such an eventuality. Make sure that this information is easily accessible to them. What you could also do is make sure you reduce the probability of such a scenario happening. Don't frequently go on risky journeys with your partner, leaving your child behind maybe. Or try to stay healthy and fit even as you age. You can also try and make your child more self-sufficient, more able to take care of his or her own daily activities, do their own shopping and manage their finances well, etc., depending on how old they are. Try and tell them about possible deceptions and exploitations so that they are careful. Remember, you're writing all this down. It's very important to do that in detail. The fourth and final step is to actually start doing the things you wrote down in step 3 when planning for the worst case scenario. And do these 4 steps for all your biggest fears. By the time you've completed this exercise, you will realize that these worst case scenarios are not the end of the world. You've planned for them and you're doing whatever you can to make sure they are unlikely to happen. And even if they do, there is a plan to deal with them. Your fear, anxiety, and worry will reduce significantly.